Hi, I'm Jackie back from Parham Physiotherapy Solutions with another Pilates video. I've had really lovely feedback from the last video that I did, so thank you very much. If you've ever got anything you'd like to ask me or tell me about the classes that I put online, I'm really grateful for any feedback, so please don't hesitate to contact me via my email address or the website, and the details can be found at the bottom. If you're new to Pilates, then I'd encourage you to look back at the scissors video, which is up on this YouTube channel, and my previous beginners sequence and the 30-minute Pilates class that I did prior to this one. This class today is going to focus on our abdominal muscles. Now, Pilates always focuses on the core, but I want you to really take your attention through to your abdominal muscles when you're doing the exercises, and I think that you'll really start to feel the burn a bit more and have more of a challenge. As always, if you are finding the exercises a bit difficult or you're not able to maintain a good form, then just ease off a little bit, take a rest and come back to it. If you think the exercises are enjoyable but not challenging you enough, then feel free to do a few more repetitions. Okay, so we're going to start in standing and do the warm up there, and then I'll come and adjust the camera slightly just for when we're down onto the mat. Okay. So starting in our nice standing position. Okay, so all the weight should be passing down equally through your toes. So look down at all your toes. See them all spreading down onto the floor. Okay, weight passing equally through your big toe, little toe and your heels. Soft bend in your knees, and then find your neutral pelvis. So put your hands on your hips and imagine your pelvis is a bucket of water, and you're going to tilt that bucket of water backwards, and then you're going to tilt that bucket of water forwards. Just a couple of times here, and then when you're ready, find the midpoint where that water would be level and your pelvis is in neutral. Straighten your knees. Rest your arms down by your sides, widen through your collarbones, draw your shoulder blades down the back of your chest wall, lengthen through the back of your neck with a small nod of your chin. And we're going to start by warming up our necks with just some gentle neck rotations. If you'd like to concentrate on your breathing, you can exhale as you turn your head away. Inhale back to centre. Try and keep those shoulders down and back while you're doing this, and feel the stretch through the neck muscles. Just one more in each direction. And then we're going to move on to some gentle shoulder rolls. So we're just going to roll those shoulders back. Release any tension through the neck. If we've been spending a lot of time at computers, laptops, phones, probably start to get a bit stiff in these muscles. Okay, and then just work forwards, rolling them forwards. And then float your hands up to 90 degrees at the elbows. And we're going to exhale as you take your hands away. Inhale back to centre. So this is our dumb waiter. Keep those collarbones nice and wide and focus on improving that range of motion through the shoulder joint. So you're externally rotating that shoulder. Okay, and then into Cleopatra. Feel as though you've got pieces of strings pulling your fingertips to the outer walls. Reaching out, turn those palms down, palms up, back in. Exhale as you reach those arms away from you. Inhale back to centre. Keep those centre muscles engaged at all times and keep your shoulders down. Feel that length and breadth across your chest. This time we're going to keep the hands here, bring them up to the ceiling and one arm down into our toy soldier. So you're going to inhale to centre, exhale as you separate the arms. I think I'm losing my fingertips a bit here. The joys of working from home. Now here, really think about keeping those collarbones lovely and wide, lengthen through the neck. We're working on that shoulder flexion. And also concentrate on that control within your stomach. So keep those springs connecting your ribs to your pelvis. That's why you exhale as you take the hands apart. Now flex at your knees, hands in front. And we're going to challenge the coordination a bit now. So we're still doing toy soldier, but we're bringing in a squat. at the hips, knees should be parallel. If you want to go a bit deeper, you'll get a bit more of a challenge. So let's pick up the pace a little. Remembering, exhale as we lift, inhale to lower. 2 more. Here. And then straighten the knees but not fully, into an arm opening. So inhale to reach the arm to the back of the room. Exhale to centre. Keep your hip bones facing forwards, but look towards your backhand. This is a great exercise for improving that thoracic mobility. Using those centre muscles to keep your pelvis nice and stable. And 1 more on each side. So you're going to inhale to reach the back of the room, exhale to centre. Okay, and then we're going to separate our legs into a wide stance, into a side plie. Pressing those knees back. Your feet should be at about 10 to 2. And try and keep your lower back and your pelvis in neutral as you're working through this exercise. Pressing those knees back as you reach your arms to the side. And then squeeze your bottom on the way up. Feel those glutes working. Relax through those shoulders. Lovely wide collarbones. And we're going to stay down here. Place one hand on your thigh. Reach the other arm up to the ceiling. We're going to do a side stretch here. So I want you to lengthen through your arm and then reach to the corner of the room. Now straighten your leg and then draw a big circle with your arm back to the start. So we exhale down, inhale to rise. Exhale as we reach up and over, and then circle the arm back. So we're really working through stretching those side trunk muscles and getting an extra bit of rotation through the upper trunk as well. Okay, and we'll walk our feet in. So you should be a bit warm now, okay? We're going to do 3 roll downs. So, start with a lovely shoulder roll back, I think. And then as you exhale, roll your nose down towards your breastbone. Using your tummy, curl your upper back, through your middle back and lumbar spine, down to the floor. Finally wheeling at your pelvis, allowing your fingertips to touch the floor if you can. Take a small breath here in as you breathe out. Tuck your tailbone under, engage through your centre muscles, and slowly restack your spine. 2 more. Roll your shoulders back. Roll your chin down to your chest. Using those tummy muscles, segmentally control that flexion through your lumbar spine. See if you can get your hands a little bit lower, feeling that stretch through the backs of your legs. And then engage through your centre and restack. And 1 more. Rolling the shoulders back, chin down to the chest. And as you roll down, allow the back of the neck and your arms to release. Your arms should be hanging down like a rag doll. Take a moment here, and then when you're ready, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, engage through your centre and slowly restack your spine. Okay, so now we're going to move into Pilates rest position. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, if you need to, as I've said before, you can always use a small cushion for your head, but I prefer not to use anything. Okay, if you find that your chin is poking up to the ceiling, that's normally when you need something here just to support you. So, knees and feet hip width apart. Your pelvis and your ribs should be sinking down into your mat as if you're sunbathing on sand. A lovely neutral lumbar spine, just a small space for that lumbar lordosis. Wide collarbones, shoulder blades down the back of your chest wall, lengthen through the back of your neck with a small nod of your chin. Starting with scissors 1, Engage your centre as you float one leg to 90 degrees and inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Now this is a simple exercise, but it's a nice way to make sure that we're activating these core muscles effectively. If you need to check, it's quite nice just to place your hands on your hip bones, come in and down about an inch, and you should feel a gentle tension under your fingertips. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. And just assess what's happening at your neck as well and your shoulders. Just see if you're holding any tension here when you're doing the exercise. There should be no discomfort in your lower back, and your tummy should remain flat. Now floating both legs now to double tabletop. Again, reassess your position. Make sure that you remain relaxed in your upper body, your ribs sinking down, and that you maintain that small curve in your lumbar spine and your tummy remains as flat as it can be. Okay, we're just going to exhale to lower, inhale to come back up. So this is scissors 2. Remember, we're focusing on the abdominal muscles today, so we're going to be layering up some exercises to make them more challenging. If you find you like this exercise but you like it to be a bit more difficult, you can tap your foot further away. Just make sure that you're maintaining your natural lumbar curve. If alternatively you're finding it more difficult, you can always tap your foot closer to your bottom. Okay, now just to up the level slightly more, we can just switch. Again, keeping that lovely flat tummy, connecting the ribs to the pelvis. Exhale to lower one leg, inhale to lift. Okay, just 3 more here then. 1, 2, 3, back to double tabletop, lower one leg down at a time. Let's move into a hip flexor stretch, because you are going to find you'll be working your hip flexors quite a lot in double tabletop. So just reach one foot away and bring the other knee to your chest, feeling that stretch through that hip flexor. And then just swap legs and repeat that on the other side. And then to finish, we're going to go back to rest position. Moving into abdo prep now, so you're going to make a basket with your hands. You're going to place them behind your head. And you're going to bring your elbows into your peripheral vision. Now an abdo prep is a bit like a sit-up, a bit like a crunchy, except we're not aiming to get any movement in the lower back. So visualise your rib cage sliding down towards your pelvis. And as you curl up, you're trying to keep your head and shoulders in relative alignment. So you're not using your hands to pull your head forward. The activity is all coming from the tummy muscle. So you exhale as you lift, inhale to lower. You're curling your head and shoulders up off the mat, keeping your tummy as flat as possible. And you aim for your gaze to be just above your knees as you look forwards into the distance. Keep those elbows in your peripheral vision, make sure they're not creeping forwards. Still engaging through those deep centering muscles whilst you do this. Maintain that natural lumbar curve. We're not imprinting your lumbar spine down into the mat. And 3 more here. So 3. Keep relaxed in your upper body. 2. And last one. Keep your right hand where it is. Bring your left hand down towards your hip. Moving into an oblique prep then, I want you to curl your right shoulder towards your left knee, reaching your left hand down towards your left foot. Curling up and down. And this time we're working the oblique muscles. So you're aiming for a diagonal movement. And when I do this, I feel this more on the left hand side. Reach those fingertips down to the feet And again, you're thinking about getting your shoulder to the knee, not your elbow to the knee. You can start to feel this. If you do it with control, you might start to feel a few shakes like I am. So you exhale to lift, inhale to lower, and once more. And then we'll have to swap sides, I'm afraid, just to make it even. So again, come the left shoulder, to the right knee. Reaching the right hand down towards the right foot. Trying to keep your tummy as flat as possible, preventing too much doming or any doming. And keeping that elbow back. Okay, so we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now, not too much time to waste here, okay, or spend here for relaxation. I want you to float both legs now back up to double tabletop. We're going to move into a one leg stretch. So you're going to exhale as you reach one leg away. Inhale to bring it back. If you find that this is too challenging with both legs in double tabletop, then please feel free to go back to level 2, which is where one leg is in rest position whilst the other does the exercise. So you reaching up to single tabletop and away. But I'm going to work from here, double tabletop into one leg stretch level 3. I'm really focusing now on my upper body. I can feel that my ribs want to lift, so really ensure that your ribs remain sinking down into that mat. And I can already feel that my tummy's working harder. But this isn't the only exercise. We're going to make it a bit harder by combining a couple of the exercises that we've done. So this one leg stretch with the oblique prep, and that becomes a crisscross. So here, legs in double tabletop. Make that basket with your hands. Curl your head and shoulders into abdo prep. And now as you extend your left leg away, I want you to curl your left shoulder towards the right knee. And then inhale, back to centre. Don't allow that abdo prep to lower. Exhale away. So we're going to do 8 here, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Please feel free to lower down if you need to. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lower your head and shoulders, arms down, then one leg down at a time. And then just roll your knees from side to side. Using that tummy still to bring those knees back up to centre, but really releasing any tension off from the lower back. And you might feel a few cracks as you do that. Okay. And then, because it has been a little bit hip flexor dominant here, let's move into a bridge as an active stretch for those hip flexors and also to get your glutes working a bit. So, you're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, tuck that tailbone under, curling your lower back up off the mat. Segment by segment, right up to shoulder blade level. And then slowly lower yourself back down. Imagine your spine is stuck to a piece of sellotape and you're slowly curling each individual vertebra off the sellotape. And then when you lower, you're replacing them back down to exactly the same spot. Another quite nice analogy is lifting a string of pearls up off a table and lowering it back down slowly. Each individual pearl would hit the mat one by one. This is a lovely exercise to get that segmental mobilization of your spine and also work your gluteal muscles. And once more then. Curling right up and just hold it there. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. And then just hug your knees to your chest and just gently roll side to side. Just loosen off your lower back. Stretch one leg away and the other leg away. Bring your arms up overhead and just take a nice breath in here. And then roll over onto your side. So, previously, when we did these side lying exercises, we were lying down here. Now we're going to be pushing up onto our elbow. It can aggravate some people's shoulders, so just be careful. As always, as I've said, lower back down if it's too uncomfortable. So we're going to move into a side plank. So for a side plank, you can have a small bend at your hips, not too much, but maybe 10-20 degrees. Keep your elbow underneath your shoulder, and your knees should be bent to approximately 90 degrees to a right angle. And you can see that there's a tendency to sink down here, so I just want you to press down through your elbow, push the floor away. Imagine there's a tea light between the lower side of your body and the mat, and you want to push away from that. You're going to rest your top arm on your leg, okay? And then we're just going to take a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, press down through your hand, through your knees, and just hover your body up from the mat, and inhale to lower. So this is your basic side plank on your knees. But even this can be quite challenging. And you're really working through those lower obliques and your lower gluteal muscles, the hip abductors. This time, if you can, bring the top arm up to the ceiling, and then take a nice breath in and reach over, forming that lovely side stretch, and back down. So 2 more here. Reaching up to the ceiling, up and over, and back. And once more, really working those obliques now. Good. And down. And then if you're comfortable too, just straighten that top leg there. If you need to, please feel free to come here. But it's quite nice just to work those lower obliques, just create a bit of tension here. And we'll move into a hip abduction. I'm going to move up the mat actually. Sorry. Okay, so just lifting up. So pressing down through that arm. As I said, this is predominantly focused on your abdominal muscles today, but it's always nice to get a bit of hip abductor work. Trying to keep the toes pointing forwards, or you can look to lead with the heel so that the heel is lifting to the ceiling. And that just encourages that hip abductor movement, and it avoids overusing those hip flexors. So from here, we're going to do 5, 4, keep pressing the floor away, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely, okay. Now have a sit up, and we've got to do this whole thing on the other side now, I'm afraid. So, hoping I'm still going to be in the video. Right, so from here, elbow under shoulder, pushing that mat away. You've got this tea light here, remember. Slight bend in your hips, knees bent to approximately 90 degrees. And we inhale always to prepare, and we always make the effort on an exhalation. So we're pressing down through our knees and our elbows, lifting your side up off the mat. And again, pressing down through your elbow and your knees, lifting that side away. Feel those obliques working. And down. And once more here. And now this time we're going to bring in the arm if you can. So you're going to lift that arm to the ceiling. I lose my fingertips there a bit, don't I? And then up and over, perform that lovely side stretch. Try and touch the mat above you if you can. And down. And again, reaching up and over. Really stretch through that upper side of the body. And down. And once more, up and over. And again, if you can, keep in that position, straighten that top leg, push the floor away again, and move steadily back into hip abduction. Good. can always lie down on that arm if you need to, remember. And we're focusing on pointing the toes forward or leading with the heel. Keep these centre muscles engaged, don't forget about the floor. Pressing it away. You can put your arm on your hip, hand on your hip, or on the mat, it doesn't matter, as long as it's not giving you too much stability. And we'll do from here, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. Okay. Now, 4-point kneeling now. Okay. So, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. To start. Now, just walk your hands slightly further forwards from where they are. You're going to tuck your toes under. We'll start with a leg pull-in prone prep level 1, just to make sure that you're happy in a plank position. So push the floor away. So you really push your chest away, engage through those centre muscles, long through your neck. And as you exhale, you're going to hover those knees up off the mat. Take a few breaths here, and then lower back down. So even doing this gentle exercise, you should feel those centre muscles working, and it's a lovely exercise if you suffer with back pain, because you're not putting very much strain at all on your lumbar spine when you do this. It's a great way to start learning to do a plank. If you're happy doing a plank, I want you to walk one leg back and the other leg back into a long arm plank position. Push the floor away, strong through those centre muscles. And we're going to do some hip flexion. So bring the left knee towards the chest, right knee towards the chest. Try and keep those hip bones pointing directly down to the floor. And we're going to do 4 more here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Back onto your knees. And then have a rest either in child's pose or sitting up, just circling your wrists. And then if you can, if you're happy to, come back into your long arm plank. One leg back, another leg back. And we're going to work our obliques. So we're going to do 8 knee to opposite hand. So we're going to bring your right knee towards your left hand. Left knee towards your right. Again, try and keep those centre muscles working and prevent excessive movement in your lumbar spine or your pelvis. So we're going to do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And have a rest back into your child's pose. And then have a sit up and just loosen off your wrists a little bit. Okay. So let's start with a gentle cool down. I'm just going to have to move the camera. Just slightly. So we'll do as we did with the last video. We're going to start one leg in front of the other, and we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So tuck that tailbone under, and you should already feel a stretch through that hip flexor there. Strong through your centre, and just lunge forwards, and that will intensify that stretch in your hip flexor. If you want to make it more of a stretch, you can reach up the same arm as the hip flexor that you're stretching, and reach up and over. And that really does intensify it here. And then reach your hips to the back of the room. Straighten that front leg and you'll get a great hamstring stretch. If you need to, you can pull your toes to get an added stretch. I don't really feel that's very necessary for me at the moment. Good. And then we'll just swap sides. So into our lunge position, tucking that tailbone under, using those tummy muscles, lunge forwards, feel that stretch in the front of your hip. You can't see it now, but it's the same muscle as I was stretching on the other side. Reach your arm up, and then if you can, just a small side bend just to intensify that stretch in the front of the right hip. And then reach your hips back. Aim to straighten that front leg. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings. And then if you want to, if you've got a lovely hamstring length anyway, you can just pull your toes up towards you to make that more of a stretch. Then just need to push back onto your heels and slowly roll yourself back up. And we'll just finish with 2 big breaths. Okay. So that was a lovely 30-minute Pilates class with a bit more of a focus on your abdominal muscles. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to drop me a line if you'd like any more information on my classes, or if you want any more information on our physiotherapy clinic. The information is at the bottom, and please do share this with anyone who you think might enjoy it. Thank you.